Hey, it's time for Fat Bastard's Garage. And this week we're going to start a little bit more on the Torqueflites. We showed you up to the drum here. What we done after we left the dry shell, we went to the drum and took the clutches and steels out of it, but took the piston out. And what we done, I went around here, and I believe I covered this last time, but I went every other panel an inch down, and then the next panel 3/4, then 1 3/4 inch, which I showed the last time. Just freshen what we done up. So that's where we left off there. So what we're going to do next, we went and took the rear drum set up. I took that out, and the holes here, 1/2 inch holes. You see every other one from the factory. Well, I went to every center of every panel and drilled out 1/2 inch. So that took more weight off just using a drill press. I want to go back over and say real quick, now if you got a lathe, not only you drill them holes, you can chuck this drum up, put it in the lathe and turn 40 thou off back of it, take a little more weight off. Same way you can take 70, 80 thousandths off of this if you got a lathe. Same way here, you can take 40 thousandths off the outside diameter of this, and then go in here with your bar and cut and take half of this pad out of here. That eliminates more weight. That's just if you got a drill press. We're just showing you now, when I first started out, I didn't have a drill press, how I took weight out for us poor people. I bracket raced for 30-some years, and that's what I done gradually, and then eventually I worked up and had a lathe. Same way here. You can go right to here, about halfway to that hole, and take like 50, 60 thousandths off of there. That'll take more weight up, plus drill them holes like I showed you. Then what we do, next thing we do, we went, clean up this is your pump, front pump and all that. Clean that up. Here's where your inside of your breather is. So to eliminate that, so we always eliminate them because if once in a while you have a leak coming out and everybody thinks it's the rear front seal, so they take the front seal out, and here it was coming from that. Sometimes they'll do that when they overheat, they'll blow out that. To stop that, I went in here, 1/8 inch pipe tap. That hole is exactly the right size to tap it out with an 1/8 inch pipe tap. Once you tap that out, blow it all out, clean it all out, and it'll get you an 1/8 inch pipe set screw there, pipe thread, and put your red, use the red Loctite and put it in there and tighten and stove on each side so it don't back off. And then you'll be about ready to start putting it back together once you clean this up. Now, we clean this all up, then we'll start showing you, we'll pop this seal out here, because that's got to be replaced. And I'll show you how to check this arm on the side. The side of the arm is a number. And most of them, like stock ones, is not really good. It's like 3/8. Now that's a good one to have. So we'll stay with that one. They got 3/8 up to 4, a 4.0 and a 5.0 lever. 5.0 was really serious racing on the Torqueflite. But you can use it, but I say just use it 4.2 and 3/8. That's mainly like I like to use on the street strip. If you could find them levers, just go to junkyards. If you can't find any laying around for you buying, hey, that's what I done. A lot of junkyards scrap this stuff and they'll have that stuff laying around. So what we'll get to next is clean this up. Now, Associate's going to clean this all up inside and out. Then we'll be ready to start putting this thing back together. And we'll go real slow, and each step we take, we'll go through everything we've done all over again as we put this together, and you'll find out. Just take your time and put things in order as you take it apart. These things are not difficult. These things are really easy to do. And I'm just showing you ways for the poor guy to lighten a Torqueflite up right now, the way I done it when I first started. Until maybe if you have a lathe, and lucky enough to have a lathe, you can really lighten them things up even more so. I'll show you some things here we're going to change in here. I'm going to put a different spring in there, and I'm going to show you how to make that solid, where there's no lapse time in the shifting, the reverse and low. Same way, we're going to put a blocker plug in here. I'll show you about that and explain it before we put the valve body on it. And we'll go in here and start replacing the pistons and stuff like that. Other than that, I says, we're about ready to start putting it back together. Like I said, we'll go back over everything as we go through it, and just take your time. You can do it. I mean, it's pretty easy. We're also going to change this shaft. It's a shorty shaft, and this the $47 we're putting in there, we're going to put the longer shaft in it. I had some laying around. Also, I made an aluminum sprag, because we're going to do a cheetah valve body where you don't need a governor and stuff like that. So you take this cast iron sprag out, parking brake sprag, take that out, and them rings and all that heavy stuff there, you don't need that anymore. I'll show you. I made this just off, I found the inside diameter of a piece of block aluminum, and this wasn't block aluminum here. I was eventually going to make it out of block aluminum on a machine. But this was just a round piece of stock that I pressed on to another round stock aluminum that slides on this shaft. And then what I done, I laid this all out and put these notches in here like this for your parking brake. This is all aluminum. So I done that at home. I've done it on a workbench and on a drill press. But if you had a lathe in that, you can do the same thing. Just mic everything, check the sizes, and make identical to that. Only make it thick enough where you can make this spacer tubes, because you won't need this stuff here. Other than that, we're about ready to start putting this thing back together. We're just going to get washed this week, possibly this week or next if nothing happens, and we'll start putting it back together. That's about all we can think about doing today. That's where we're stopped at. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Fat Bastard's Hot Rod Garage. Help. Thank you.